Hello and welcome to the Swimrun Show podcast. It's episode 52, and we have a great guest, very experienced organizer and racer. It's John Yelland, organizes Mad Hatter sports events down in Cornwall. So that's St. Austell Bay, Roseland, and Gribben swim runs. And yeah, it was great to have John on. It occurred to me last week that it's 10 years since the first swimrun race took place in the UK, 2015. And Mad Hatter Sports actually had a race that year as well as Brecker, not long after Brecker Buttermere. So I thought, well, let's get John on. And it was great to catch up. He had a challenging year this year with some event cancellations and various challenges along the way. But yeah, it was a really good chat and a kind of event organizer viewpoint. So yeah, that's coming up very soon. Big shout out to everyone who's racing in Haute-Loire, the end of the European Haute-Loire race series. And yeah, looked like good conditions, possibly a bit warm for me. I wasn't there, thankfully, because I probably would have overheated. But yeah, great to see some GB flags and Irish, quite a lot of Irish teams out there. Richard Sannard and Sarah Richardson winning the mixed category sprint distance. Well done, guys. And lots of folks doing well over in the south of France, the James Bond swim run. So yeah, that's that. Let's crack on with John. Here we go. Okay, so here we have John Yelland from Mad Hatter Sports Events. How are you, John?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks, mate. Not too bad. It's the end of the season, so it's a bit of downtime.
Yeah, good. And it's been, well, a challenging year for you for your events. I know you got off to a great start with St. Austell Bay, and then a few challenges ahead.
Well,
Just
even St Austell was a challenge because our numbers were down on St Austell,
right.
so we had like a 50% sort of number rate for St Austell Bay
Oh,
this year. It's the lowest numbers we've had since year two.
God, I didn't
Yeah,
realize it was that low. Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And with a well, let's touch. Why have you got any? I mean, it's the old question, isn't it? Why do you think that is?
I think there's a number of reasons. So every event we've done this year has been down on numbers except for one. So it's not, and it's not just us. A lot of event organisers, certainly in Cornwall, have had similar issues. Um, so with Charlestown or St Austell Bay Hokey Cokey, there are a number of kind of things I think behind it. One is that I think people are, financially having issues.
Hmm.
That's obviously affecting people. There was a big triathlon in the southwest a week after the Hokey Cokey, so maybe people kind of looked at that and said, "I can't do both, so I'll do one or the other," and chose the triathlon.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, maybe it's where we are. There's a load of things that come out and make you think about it. Why? It might be all sorts of things. I can't pinpoint one, but yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Okay.
low numbers.
Well, yeah. I guess so. One of the reasons, John's awesome, obviously, but one of the one of the main reasons I wanted to get him on again was because I realised last week it's 10 years since the first swim run took place in the UK, and one of John's events, this matter. Do you call it St Austell Bay or Charlestown?
Oh, it kind of
Both.
mixes and matches. Whatever I
Okay.
feel like. It's St Austell Bay is the official.
Okay.
Uh, yeah,
Okay, cool. So that happened in 2015, shortly after the Brecker Buttermere, which also happened in 2015. So the longest still going swim run event in the UK is St Austell Bay. And touching on the drop in numbers, back then there wasn't much choice in swim run racing in the UK. So that could be a factor. There's now quite a few races out there, which is great, but I don't know, we touched on this actually with Chloe of Love Swim Run some time ago. Possibly the numbers haven't grown in accordance with the number of events,
yeah,
uh, but a few events have dropped away as well. So
yeah,
yeah, it's tough times a little bit,
yeah.
and also yeah.
10
So
years ago it seems like a long time ago. Things have definitely changed quite a bit. I will
yeah,
never forget that first day. That was really interesting because we set off. Well, basically, I won't go into this if you want, but the story behind why we started doing it is we were invited by Newquay Town Council, Newquay Bid, and one of our race partners, shop in Newquay, to help Newquay put on the World Surf Lifesaving Championships back in 2016. So they said, "Oh, we want you to do a triathlon and put on a triathlon in Newquay in August to prove that Newquay has the infrastructure and everything to be able to hold an event like that." And we just went, "A triathlon in Newquay in August is just no,
Mm,
that's just mental." You know,
yeah.
it's so busy in Newquay. But we said we looked at it, and I'd seen Attilo on TV, and I was like,
Mm,
"Oh, that's really interesting." I thought maybe we could do something along those lines. So we came up with a race called the Newquay Bay Hop, which we were going to put on. And eventually it became so political and so many parties involved. It was just a nightmare. So we decided actually we should do this in Sinosal Bay, because it's usually reasonably flat and calm and everything like that. So we did it in Sinosal Bay, and that's how the Hokey Cokey started. It was just
right.
like completely off the bat. It was just, yeah, let's try and do this. And the first year we did it, I think we had about 45 people. We had no
Okay.
rules. We said there's no rules. You can kind of do what you like,
Hmm.
because we didn't want to scare people off. So people were taking dry shoes to transitions. They were, people. One guy ran back from the last swim without his wetsuit and left his wetsuit there for people to bring back.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
yeah, it was really interesting actually. A lot of people did it in surf suits or cut off
Yeah.
swimming wetsuits or
Yeah.
full length wetsuits. It's changed quite a bit.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, yeah. Well done for starting it off down there in Cornwall and keeping it going. And I know you had the longer. Roseland is like one of the longest swim runs in the UK, and certainly possibly the most amount of swimming for a swim run race in the UK. Is it like,
Mm,
was it 9K or something?
yeah, just under nine and about 9.5K it was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
but
meaty.
let's see that we're swimmers
Yeah,
more so than any other sport. So that's our kind of background, is the swimming. So we wanted to make them swim heavy, but then
yeah.
maybe that puts people off.
It'll put some people. Yeah, I mean, it's yeah, yeah,
It's the same as triathlon, isn't it? People tend to not do triathlon because they don't like the swim.
yeah, yeah. And there is a lot of talk about get the swim out the way in
Yeah,
triathlon.
absolutely. Yeah,
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 because yeah, and a lot of people who train at have got a venue in Liverpool, and every April, lots of them turn up. And go, all right, I've signed up for my first Ironman, and I've never swum outside before. I said, okay, okay. Well, when is it? Oh, it's 3 weeks time or something.
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
But they get, the good thing about triathlon and Ironman is it does encourage adults who've missed out on the swimming to kind of it motivates them to learn, and I think
Well,
that's brilliant.
that's how I started. I
Right,
signed up to do an Ironman and I'd never swum.
right. Wow.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I'd never swum, which was an interesting introduction to multi-sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not going into that. It was
No,
interesting.
no. It does. It okay. Well, it does work though. It does seem to work. Like the Iron Man dream that people have
Yeah,
of it
yeah,
gets them to start to
yeah,
learn to swim, which is awesome. And then obviously they realise swim run is better. Hopefully,
yeah.
that
More
yeah,
adventurous, definitely more adventurous.
yeah,
But I mean, like you were saying with the Roseland, the Roseland was our kind of dream to make it a merit race and everything like that, which we did once, didn't really work out for us, but we just weren't getting the numbers again for that race. Um,
mhm,
I mean, in terms of races, I think I'm biased because it was our race, but I think it's as good as anywhere. Certain people, I won't mention names, but have said to me, it's their favourite race, and they've done loads all around the world because it's picturesque, it's tough, it's an adventure, it's rugged, it's everything about it. But I just don't think there's an appetite, certainly in the UK, for that kind of distance racing. People seem to want to do sort of 20K, 22, 23K max. There's the odd, you know, bunch of lunatics who want to go a little bit longer, but there's not enough of them to put an event like that on. The water support for that event alone was a huge investment.
Yeah.
So you were never kind of always fighting to break even.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we
Yeah.
had double or triple the numbers of people doing it, then great, it would make money. But it just didn't. So I think we're gonna call it for now, and then give it a few years and see if something changes in the swim run market in the UK. And if it does, we'll bring it back. Yeah, I'd love to bring
That's
it back
yeah.
because it's one of our favourites. But at the moment, yeah, it's just doing it with 50 or 60 people just doesn't make enough money to pay for it.
Yeah. 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 I think that's a good shout because I feel like it will come back, and I've touched on this with Andreas Sachs at the My Swim Run Championships last year in the UK. As it started with Brecca, mostly Brecca,
Yeah,
and they were growing as
yeah,
we talked about this before, but it was always that was team and it was long distance. That's all you could do with their races, and it was growing. Like in Coniston, Buttermere was started small, but Coniston the first year of that there was 100 teams on the start
yeah,
line in the long
yeah,
course. This year there was in teams, there was two male teams, one
yeah,
mixed team, and
yeah,
no female teams
yeah,
on the long course, which is crazy how that's
yeah,
changed.
yeah,
But
absolutely.
yeah, I think it
I mean,
will come back. It will. Well,
yeah, yeah, hopefully. I mean, when we first started out doing swim run, we said we're going to do solo. And I think us and Chloe at Love Swim Run were the only solo swim runs. And we actually got quite a lot of, um, what's the word? Not abuse, friendly
grief.
banter, maybe grief, that it's not in the the ethics of swim run to do solo. And we always went, well, it's our race, we can do what we like, us and Chloe. So we did, and it's interesting now that it's gone that way. People tend to race solo more than. I mean, at the Gribben that we had to cancel, unfortunately, we had like 6 teams. Because we only do teams on the longer course, but we only had 6 teams,
Yeah, yeah,
which it just goes to show.
yeah, yeah,
It is hard to find a partner. It is hard to find someone to. But I think people are thinking that they have to find a partner who's the same as them. But I'm not sure you do. I think that's where the teamwork comes in. If you've got someone who's a better swimmer, you use a tether.
yeah,
You can even use the tether on the run. So it's
yeah,
not about finding someone who's exactly the same as you. It's about finding someone that works with you and maybe
yeah.
complements you.
Definitely, definitely.
Or in my situation, puts up with my moaning.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it is very the team element. I mean, there's some top teams who
Mm,
are very different in terms of skills that have done well. And the swim speed can be very different. Like me and my sister I know it's only the UK races, but we've won Clanbarris, we've won Holy Island and Anglesey, we're fourth at Brecca Coniston, and she's an awful swimmer, great runner. So I was a good enough swimmer to get through the swims, and then I'd match her on the runs just about. She
yeah,
probably could have gone a bit faster. So that works, and it's the same. And Simon Griffiths have raced with him. His
yeah,
swimming's better. His running's not as good, but we worked together. We had the same
yeah.
attitude, and it worked. So yeah, it's absolutely. You don't need. Ideally, you can train together, but even I've never trained with Simon before, and we
Yeah.
won it. Yeah, it wasn't. It's not a big field, so it's not in the UK. It's not. No disrespect. It's great to get on the podium in the UK. Actually, your races are more competitive than some. Actually,
Yeah, yeah, we do
um,
get some very good fields. Yeah,
yeah.
we've had some
So
cracking races over the years. Some
yeah,
really, really good races on all the events actually, but two in particular. There was one year that the PH guys came down and they were racing two local lads, and they were three male teams, and they were together the whole way around and racing each other, and it was pretty spectacular actually. I wish we could have filmed it because it was quite exciting.
yeah.
And it was the same at one of the Roselands when it was the merit race actually.
Right.
Two teams just they were at it the whole day. Um, One team just pipped another on the line. It was really close, and
That's brilliant.
yeah, again, if you could have filmed it, it would have been pretty dramatic watching, I think. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
that whole partner thing. I used to race with a chap who was my race partner to start with, and like I say, you've got to. you've got to go to what benefits you as a team. So I would never be the first couple of races we did. I'd never be tethered. I didn't want to be tethered. I didn't want to get dragged around. And I'm an okay swimmer now, but back then I was not quite as good. And we did Lamberis one year, and we got in the water to try it the day before, and we had a little swim, and he pulled out a tether and went, "Look at this," and I was like, "No, no, I am not being tethered. No way in the
Mm.
world." And he went, "Come on, just try it." And we tried it once, and it was an absolute game changer.
Yeah.
We went on to win it that year. But I would never forget, we got in the water like 200 meters behind the leading team on the swim down the lake, which is maybe 1,500-1,600 meters. So we were 200 meters down getting in, and all of a sudden I'm just breathing and looking at this rope, and then I saw this pair of feet sort of come past me like this.
Mm.
What's going on? And we just overtook them. We got out of the water 300 meters ahead, and we went on
Brilliant.
to win. It's just like, you've got to take those,
Yeah.
get rid of your pride and go, do you know what? I will tether, and I will.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. And it's
definitely.
a skill as well, being on the back.
Yeah,
I was a race with Davide, and I was mostly on the back, and I hadn't been following on the tether for a while, and it took me a while to get back into it. So it's part of the team skill that you've got someone who's yeah. It's not that
people think
skillful,
you're
but
being. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's
People
a
think
fact,
you're
though, isn't
being
it?
pulled. Yeah,
Yeah.
people say, like, because I normally race with a chap called Darren, and he's a better swimmer than me, so he normally goes in front, but he also doesn't like being behind. So
Mm.
even if I wanted to take a spell at the front, he's like, "No, I don't like it, don't like
Yeah.
it."
Yeah.
But it is a skill, and people go, "Well, you're being dragged around," and you're like, "Well, no, I'm not being dragged around. I'm not swimming as hard as I would, but it is definitely a skill because you have to slow down."
Yeah.
Um, and then people say, if you're at the front, well, you're pulling that person, and actually you're not really pulling them.
Not really,
But
no.
no, no, unless they literally put the brakes on and stop
Yeah.
mid swim. But
Yeah.
which I like to do with Darren every once in a while, just to keep him on his toes.
Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff. So you've got, so that went ahead. Rosen's was cancelled this year due to low numbers, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
And so that was sad to see. But then it was even sadder when the Gribbin planning to go ahead, and the weather gods got in the way.
We've been lucky over the years with the weather, very lucky over the years. So it was about time we had a bad year. But yeah, the Gribben, um, the weather actually was really nice. It was sunny and everything like that, and the wind was just in the wrong direction. It was. Yeah, I hate events, so we had to cancel an event a week later as well, which was an open water swimming event, um, which was again slightly disappointing. But you kind of, I would rather it be dead calm, so no worries at all, or it be 100-mile-an-hour onshore winds, because then there is no decision to make. When
Mm.
it's on the cusp, or it might be calm enough to do it, and you've got to make a decision, that's the really difficult one. I mean, we had an aquathlon this weekend, and it was the same sort of thing. Can we? Can't we? 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon, I was thinking, I'm going to have to cancel another event because it was horrible.
Mm.
We got it
Mm.
done, and it went well.
Well done.
But it was like just holding your nerve a little bit just to see whether the forecast does what it's supposed to.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we had to cancel the Gribben, which was gutting. But yeah, it's just one of those things, I suppose. In the sea, I suppose you have that issue within the lakes, but you are maybe a little bit more sheltered. In the sea, it's just
Oh God, yeah. No, I've organised both lakes and sea
yeah.
events, and the sea is so much like it's more stressful with the weather, and it's
Yeah.
just like I know exactly what you mean.
But it's gutting to do because
Yeah.
you've as an event, you've paid for insurance for that event. For the Gribben, for example, we'd paid out for medals, t-shirts, which I'm hoping we can still use again. But we have had to pay that out. We've paid venue costs, paid deposits
Hmm.
on water support, which we won't
Yeah.
get back. So
Yeah.
it's not the best thing to do when you're cancelling an event because you will lose money,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Well, that's the game, I suppose, isn't it? Some years it goes well, and some years it doesn't.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it's yeah, it is. There is a bit of holding your nerve, isn't there, for sure? Because yeah.
The
But,
last couple of weeks for me have been like, I came back from Croatia because we do a camp in Croatia, and came back from Croatia, and the event was the week after, and that week was just looking at the forecast. Literally every 30 seconds, you're looking at the forecast, going, "Oh, has it changed? Does it change? Does it change? We might get away with it. We might not. Who knows? Do I order the t-shirts? Do I?
yeah,
It's
yeah,
that kind
yeah,
of stuff. And
yeah,
if you don't, then it'll be flat and calm, and if you do, it'll be horrible, and
yeah, yeah. No, it's
whichever way you do it.
that weekend of the Gribbon. I had the Eliminator in Abu Dhabi on the Saturday,
Yeah,
which wasn't as bad in the end.
yeah,
And that event is almost stormproof now. That
yeah,
Eliminator
yeah.
format. So that's nice. But the following day, I had Beat the Tide 4K, and that was wild. Well, what happened was it was fine in the morning. Yeah, not fine, but absolutely okay to do it. A couple of leading in registration, blah blah blah, and then literally as we started the swim, the wind came in, and it was a tough swim. But everyone did it and finished, and well, actually, not everyone finished, but everyone survived, and but it was one of those that was that stress. Yeah, I know what you mean for sure.
But you learn, sometimes it's like that. Our first year of ever doing swimming events, we did a race called the Gwynnies, which we still do. I think it's recently been voted one of the UK's toughest open water swims.
Right.
But the first year we did it, I'll be absolutely honest, we made a mistake with the tides and the currents, um, and it was flat calm in the harbour. But as they swim basically 2 kilometres straight out to sea around a rock and back, and I think 120 people started, 19 got round the rock, 18
Oh,
were rescued. Um,
Jesus.
and we're just stood on the beach going, I have no idea what's going on because the beach is flat. Anyway, we just thought no one's ever going to want to do this again because it was pretty bad conditions. But everybody that came in said, "Oh, what a challenge! That was great. Really loved it." And we thought no one's going to ever want to do that again. And the following year, we thought we'll put it on just to see what interest, and it sold out. And
Wow.
people like that. A lot of people say to me, you should put on a surf swim or rough conditions and stuff like that. But just it scares me now to do that.
Yeah.
it's the water
It,
support and the safety and everything that goes with it.
yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. And yeah, some of the swims you see in Australia, those surf when they come in, oh my God, they are so good. But I couldn't see that happening in the UK.
Have you ever seen Perranporth Triathlon?
I haven't
You ever
heard of
heard?
it. I haven't seen it.
That is like that. They
Is
will
it?
go pretty much any conditions. There was one year, a few years back, that it was 8 or 9 foot surf, and I think only about 3 or 4 people actually made the swim.
Wow.
This year it is like maybe 2 to 3 foot of surf, but they will put it on because it's the Surf Lifesaving Club. They've got
Okay.
all these people in the water, so it's super safe, but it's quite intimidating.
Okay. I might have to have a look at that one. Is it
Yeah, definitely have a look at it.
Parent Puff? Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
it's worrying. It is worrying because like you said, everybody survived, and the last
mm,
thing any of us want is something to happen to a
yeah.
competitor at one of your races. The first thing anybody should be thinking about is everybody's back safe and well,
Yeah.
first and foremost, and then you start to think, well, this person didn't finish, or this person maybe has a cut hand, but everybody's alive, which is kind of the best feeling of doing any of these events because God knows what it would be like to lose someone.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've taken part in events where I did Ironman Marbella 70.3, should say, not full Ironman, that was a few years ago, and somebody drowned.
Oh,
They were
Jesus.
in the wave that I was in, and they drowned.
God.
It's scary because you think, oh, did I, could I have done something? Or
Well,
not that you could potentially,
no.
but it goes through your head. And as a
Yeah.
race organizer, you think, oh, Jesus, what would that be like?
Yeah.
Well, this is morbid.
Well, yeah, it suddenly turned dark.
Yeah, yeah,
But no, it's a good time because it happened. It comes up not quite often, but it comes up in Ironman more than other races, perhaps, probably because they
probably.
have a lot of people racing, and
Yeah,
and maybe they don't have some of the competitors don't have the swim experience that swim runners do, perhaps.
yeah,
Without being, uh, yeah, and so if you're gonna have a heart attack and you have it in the water, this is where there's a problem, isn't there?
yeah. And
Yeah,
we
well,
get people that do our events. I don't know about you, but you get people come along and we take medical things from people, and people turn up and they go, oh, "I'm epileptic," and
mm,
you're like, "Really? I don't even, not even sure I want you in the water." you
mm,
know,
yeah,
and other illnesses and things like that, and you think, oh, we've got to brief our medical teams and stuff like that on what's going on and who's got what, and yeah, it's worrying sometimes.
yeah,
Yeah, we get a lot of deaf people do our events, which is great, but it's quite challenging because you've got to tell the water support guys that we give them a different coloured hat so that they
mm,
know. But it's worrying sometimes, or somebody turns up and they go, "Oh, I've got heart issues," and oh my god,
yeah, yeah,
you really want to do this event?
yeah,
Yeah, it's quite worrying.
yeah, yeah. Anyway, all good in the swim run world. No, I don't think there's any fatalities across the globe in swim run. That's a good thing
No,
so far. Touch
well,
wood.
that's a very good thing. Let's keep it that way.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So, yeah, another thing I wanted to, so there's been in the UK definitely been a shift to the solo, the shorter distance. I think the longer distance will come back eventually, popularity, because the world champs and the Ursula world champs is kind of for a lot of people, well, in my world anyway, the pinnacle of the sport,
Mm,
if you like,
absolutely.
and that ultimately you've got to do in a team, and it's a long distance. So if you
Yeah,
want to get there, you've got to do some long team,
yeah,
races ideally.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
so that's kind of good, and I hope I mean, obviously, I talked with Max what a long time ago, um, but I really do hope, and I'm sure it will. I've never heard of any other comments, but as long as the world champ stays as a team, I think we'll always have that kind of motivation to race
Mm,
long in a team.
yeah,
That's it,
hopefully.
isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah, because I've been looking at doing races this year. I haven't raced at all this year for a number of reasons, which we won't go into. But um, you're looking at races, and because we organise in the summer, you're kind of looking at end of season in Europe
yeah,
somewhere. And you look at it and you go, well, I could go to wherever and do a 20-kilometer race, and you think, do I really want to go that far for a 20-kilometer race?
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
I want to go and do 40, 45, 50 kilometers, not be done in a couple of hours. And yeah, I
yeah,
think, but then people do. So hopefully it'll come back. Hopefully,
yeah,
fingers crossed.
yeah. And the other thing I've noticed is what was good in Caen, Otelo Caen in France, the Richard Stannard and Sarah Richardson on the podium. In fact, they
Yeah,
won the sprint distance. I know it wasn't the World Series, but they won the sprint distance, beat all the French people and all the other guys. So well done, Sarah and
yeah,
Richard.
absolutely. They're a bit of a team, aren't
Yeah, yeah, they're good. They're good. And Richard even had time to do a little video of the race on a
they? Did
GoPro. Yeah, yeah, as he was swimming somehow. Um, so
he?
that's good.
Interesting.
Yeah, and the age factor. I mean, those guys are. I think they're like 51.
Mm,
So and they're still competing really, really well.
yeah, yeah,
So that's great. I think, as being an old person myself. And then Kristen Larson and Helena, they won the female category, and they're no spring chickens.
yeah,
Awesome,
yeah,
awesome athletes, of course. But it's good to
yeah,
see that they can you can still compete pretty very high level as opposed to in some other sports. I guess there's in the female category in the UK for sure. It's not super competitive at the moment. Um, yeah, based on just the times and number of
yeah,
people
yeah,
entering.
yeah,
So there's definitely potential for growth in the female category in the UK, and if you've got there's like the likes of there's a guy Harry Smith who did really well in Abu Dhabi, and Coniston he was second.
yeah.
He's a bit young, he's like 30 something. And we don't seem to have that under 35 mass of people doing swim run in the UK.
Mm.
And
There's one or two that come in and that tend to be quite good, or just trying it for the first time, but there isn't that mass of kind of people doing it, is there? Which is a shame. Yeah, there's a guy that we met in Lisbon, and he was rapid. He was absolutely rapid. I can't think of his name. It doesn't
Oh,
matter.
it wasn't James
Yeah,
James young lad.
Johnson. Yeah,
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 James John.
yeah.
Yeah.
He
He
was
was
rapid.
fast. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been trying to get him to come down to Cornwall, but but it's yeah. I mean, there's people that we have as who are absolutely rapid at swimming and running, but they don't want to put the two things together in doing swim run, or they might do one, but then they go back to triathlon. Well, I mean, there's a
Yeah.
chap down here, Neil Eddy, he's called. He's an absolute beast. I think, don't know whether he's in Kona this weekend, but he's normally one of the top age groupers at Ironman, and he's an
Right.
absolute beast. And trying to get him to do it. He's done one of our swim runs once, and actually it was with Andy Blow from PH.
Right.
They all raced together and they all picked names out of a hat, and then all of a sudden Andy Blow turned around and goes, "Oh, I'm racing with Neil Eddy," and I went, "You fixed that, haven't you?"
Yeah.
And
Oh
they won
God.
it. But yeah. But it's getting people like him and other people to do it regularly and see the incentive of doing it. But yeah, I don't know whether there's like triathlon and stuff, whether there's prize money and stuff attached, so they might get sort of things, or there's more coverage on triathlon and things like that. So sponsors are a bit more kind of happy that you're out there doing it, and yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully it'll, like we say with the teams and stuff. Hopefully it'll grow and see what people will see the adventure side of it as opposed to the rules based stuff that there is in triathlon and things, and it'll attract them, and more money will come into the sport, and we can kind of potentially look at prize money and things like that. But that's only for the winners. So
Yeah.
we need a Gordon Ramsay or someone like. I've been trying because he comes down here quite a lot, and
Okay.
a friend of mine coaches him when he's down here.
Right.
So I've been every year. I'm like, Chris, can we get Gordon to come and do a swim run? And
Yeah.
not yet.
Okay,
But
that would be good. Yeah.
I keep trying.
Because
We just need
his
a lab.
his daughter's into it, isn't she? She's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She recently did the T100, I think, didn't she? In
Yeah.
somewhere.
And
Yeah,
Adam
and he
Peaty
was.
did it as well, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
We just need someone to kind of, celebrities to get involved, and
Yeah. I know in the American Ertelur race series, they had Eric Lagerstrom, who's
Okay,
pretty good at multi-sport, and
yeah,
that went well. He enjoyed it as well. So they're doing that. And then another guy raced in Colorado, another pro triathlete. So they're throwing in, some celebs, if you like,
yeah,
high
yeah.
performance sports folks.
But
So hopefully
we
that'll
had Leon Chevalier, who's one of
really.
the top. Yeah, he's done two of our Roseland events. I didn't
Wow.
even know who he was. He's got
Yeah.
some friends that live down here, and him and his wife now or girlfriend come down, and they turned up and did it. And somebody said to me, "Oh, do you know who that is?" I was like, "No, I have no idea." Oh, he's a professional track. Oh, is he?
How
Yeah,
did he do?
I won it
He
both
won it.
times.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Did
yeah.
he?
His teammates have been very, very, very good athletes as well.
Right.
So yeah, so there's no kind of but you
Okay.
just I had no idea who he was.
Mm, there
So,
we go.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm just as you touched on Kona there. With in the females, it's obviously the female this Saturday. Not obviously, but it
Yeah.
is. It's not our sport, but we know we're across a few sports. But Great Britain have got 6 on the start list of the world
Mm,
champs in
yeah.
Kona, which is awesome. Kat
Well,
Matthews, Lucy Charles
Lucy
Barkley.
Charles, she comes down this way a lot as well. She's regularly holidays in Polzeth, which
Right.
is on the north coast. But I keep trying to get her to come and do some stuff with us. But it's just getting to them. Let's get the Brownlees to do a swim run as a team. That'd be
Yeah,
something.
I think that's more realistic because they're not they're not going to get well.
They're knocking on a bit.
If Lucy gets injured on your course, she'll be really
Yeah,
pissed off. But
but that's the problem. I invite people to do events. So I've been fortunate over the last 10 years to make some acquaintances and some good friends and some contacts with some reasonably well-known people, some well-known people, and you invite them through, even including sort of professional athletes, and you invite them to come and do an event. But then you start thinking, what if they get injured doing my event and then they have to pull out of something? That would be horrific. So yeah, it's a double-edged sword. I think you get the benefit of them coming, but then you get
yeah. Well, yeah.
But Gordon Ramsay's on the list. I'll keep trying.
Good. Yeah.
Gordon, if you
And
watch this, come and do one.
I'm sure Gordon listens, every
he
episode.
signs up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So just India Lee, Rebecca Anderbury, Holly Lawrence, and Stephanie Clutterbuck are all in Kona, and
That's a great name.
that's great.
That is a great
Yeah,
name,
Clutterbuck.
isn't it?
I know. Ireland,
I
Fiona Moriarty as well.
Yeah.
So I noticed there was quite a few Irish flags on the Otolo Khan start list and finish list, so that's good to see.
There's quite a few Brits out there from what I saw as well, wasn't there?
Yeah.
There's a few Brits.
Yeah, there was. Yeah. Chris Goodfellow was there, top 10. Sarah King, Piers and Claire doing well in the mixed
Chris
category.
Go solo?
Chris went solo, yeah. He was not, I think it was like, I don't know, less than 20 minutes off the front. Good showing. Yeah.
It would be nice to get a Brit team on the podium of some of these events, wouldn't it?
Like the World Series, the actual longer one.
Yeah, the World Series races. Yeah, it'd be nice to get some Brits on the podiums. But I mean, the standard of guys that are racing is just ridiculous.
Well, yeah, this is it now. So the French obviously are just outstanding, and they're running like they have the under 35 bracket. The 25 to 35. They have them on board, and that is what we don't have at the moment.
So how did they do that though? How did they get them on board? Because I think they involved the French Triathlon Federation, didn't they, or something, and went through that. So yeah.
They did.
It would be with different topic.
yeah. Let's leave it.
Yeah, but they are rapid, and the Swedes are all rapid, aren't they?
They are.
I just don't know how they do. But when you talk to the Swedes, I was talking to someone this week, and a lot of the Swedes are ex-international level athletes, or open water swimmers, and it's mad. I can't compete with that anyway.
No. It's
I'd like to try, but I wouldn't last very long.
Yeah. Well, it's it's the good thing about swimrun. It's some of the courses kind of the world champs. Probably less so because of that massive run, the 18K run, and you've got people who are doing like 106 half marathons. Jesus, you can do some damage on that run. But some of the courses where there's so many transitions and swim run, and if you get really, you can do okay. Survive.
Well, one of the races we looked at doing was one of their new races. Was it new races? I can't remember. But one of the Attilo World Series races. But the longest run was like 3 kilometers, and the longest swim was sort of 700 meters. But there's lots of transitions.
Yeah,
it's like, well, I don't know.
Was that Gothenburg?
It might have been Gothenburg.
Yeah.
And they're not long runs or swims, but there's lots of them.
Yeah.
So your transitions have got to be really good for that, which again mine aren't. But it's. That's the beauty as well, though, isn't it, of swim run, is that every course is totally different.
Absolutely.
It's not like triathlon is an Olympic distance. Triathlon is a 1,500 meter swim, 40K bike, 10K run. It's like, well, let's go and do this course. What are the distances? And it's totally different. Every course is totally different.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the beauty.
And talking of distances, John, and I'm really going to try and get down to the St. Austell one this year. No, sorry, next year, 2026. It's always difficult. Let's just have a look at the distances, and because I've just realised the Eliminator is penciled in for the weekend before, which would be the perfect training for the hokey cokey. So let's have a look. We've got first run.
So you're talking long or short course? Because there's two.
I'm going long. Oh, of course. Sorry, I always go long. We'll go long. Yeah. So we've got 400 meter run.
Yeah,
500-meter swim. Two.
that's
Oh,
all
go
in
on.
around Charlestown, and the first swim's out around a buoy. And the
Okay.
beauty of Charlestown is that if it's high tide, which it sometimes is, sometimes isn't, depends on the day,
Mm.
obviously, you can swim in through the harbour, and then it's a mass kind of exit on some steps, and it can be absolutely carnage. And I love that. It's just so much fun watching people swim in through the harbour and trying to clamber over each other to get up the steps. But yeah, go on. Sorry, where were
Cool.
you?
That sounds fun. 500-meter swim. So second run, 2.6K.
Yeah,
Nice. And then a 1K swim,
feels longer.
5.2. Is it a bit longer? Oh, it feels longer.
It
Okay.
feels longer. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Because is it hard to go straight, or is it just one of those that just feels
It's just
longer?
one of those that feels longer than a kilometre.
Right. Okay.
Just
Let's call it
for some reason,
1.2. Yeah.
yeah,
Then you've got the longest run is run 5.2K. Then a kilometre swim again. Cool down on that one.
yeah,
4.3K swim. 4.3K run.
yeah,
950 swim. That probably feels longer as well.
yeah.
Then a 2.2K run. And then the long, I like this, the longest swim at
That
the end.
that 2.2k run includes a kilometre along a beach, sand.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Yeah, and then we've got the longest swim at the end. So
Yeah.
we used to do it the other way around. So we used to do the out and back to um, Blackhead, which includes the 5k run, and then they would swim into Charlestown, 600-meter run, and then a 1.7 meter swim, a 1.7 kilometer swim.
Mm-hmm.
But so it's basically a 2.7 kilometer swim with a very short break in between. And at that time of year, the water is not the warmest.
Mm.
So people were getting cold. So we changed it up to be the last swim so that people could warm up before.
Okay.
But yeah, that's another swim that's never ending.
Yeah,
And we've got a lot of those here in Cornwall
yeah, haven't you? Yeah.
because they're all blind. I think most of our swims on most of our events actually are blind. You can't see the exit from where you get in. Um, so you're never quite sure unless you know the swim, the route. You don't necessarily know how far you've got to go, and am I there yet? Is it just around this headland, or is it around
Mm.
this bit? And you get to that headland, and you can see another set of rocks that you need to go around, and yeah. So they don't. They feel like they go on for a long time. And of
Yeah.
course, if you swim in a straight line, that's 1.7k measured in a straight line.
Yeah. Okay. We're looking at 2K then, aren't we?
Essentially, well, yeah. Someone you mentioned earlier who won it a few years ago said to me, uh, "I've got a bone to pick with you. That 1.7k swim was a 2.1k swim," and I just went, "You should swim in a straight line, then, shouldn't you?" Which went down
Uh,
like a lead balloon, I think. But
uh,
no, he took it from it well. So, but
yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's a tough course. I mean, there was a guy called Francois Lee who used to run this World of Swimrun magazine, and
Oh yeah.
doesn't really
Yeah.
doesn't really do it
Yeah.
fixed.
Yeah.
Doesn't really
Fix.
do a
Yeah.
lot of swimrun anymore. But he
Mm.
came down the first year, I think it was, and did it. And we started and finished in a different place rather than Charlestown Harbour. And he came and thought, oh, it's only 20, well, actually, it's about 19 and a half kilometres total distance. And he said, I thought it would be quite easy.
Mm.
No, not in
Mm.
Cornwall, not on those
No.
coast paths.
No.
The 5 kilometre run includes some nasty inclines, some steps.
All right.
There's beaches, there's all sorts of stuff thrown in. So yeah,
Yeah.
one year we
Yeah.
even had cows as obstacles on the coast path.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but their intention, of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah. It's cost a lot of money to put cows on the course.
Absolutely.
So-
Yeah. Costs more to get
but
them off again.
yeah. But so yeah, I mean, 20K course and there's 5.1K of swimming. Call it nearly 5.5 if you're not going straight.
Yeah,
That's a lot. That's a good chunk, isn't it? 26% of swimming
yeah.
at least.
We
So
always
yeah.
try and be high on the percentages for swimming. Gribben's very similar,
Hmm.
slightly less, but very similar. So we always look to be trying to get in the low to mid 20%
Right.
swimming.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
ultimate would
Good.
be to do 50-50.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we'd have to shorten the runs though.
Yeah. Yeah, you could be waiting a long time for some of the swimmers. And then the short course it looks nice, and actually this looks really nice. 400-meter run, 500-meter swim, 2.6K run, 1K swim, 5.2K run, 1K swim, 400-meter run. That's nice.
Yeah. So it's like a figure of eight course. So you go out from Charlestown to the right, and the short course finishes back in Charlestown, and the long course goes out towards the left towards Spit Beach, one of the beaches that we go to. Yeah.
Cool.
It's normally pretty flat. We've had last couple of years, it's been a little bit bumpy. So last year we had to change the course last minute because the wind was coming from the southwest. So the far end, the 900-meter swim and the 1.7 swim would have been pretty horrible. So we changed that. But I mean, that's one of the things we can do in a lot of our routes is change it up a little bit if the weather's a bit bad, but from a particular direction we can change it. It's when it's all coming in from totally the wrong direction, then you're scuppered. But we can always try and do something.
Yeah, good stuff. So that's the 23rd of May, 2026. All being well.
Not long.
No.
Oh, God. I've only just finished.
Yeah. Well, you've got a good few months there, John. Relax.
Yeah. We're mixing up our events again this year. So, like I said, the Roseland's gone for a while, potentially forever, but who knows? I never say never. So we're bringing back a couple of older events as well, and moving a few locations around to kind of try and mix it up a little bit again. So yeah, who knows?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Been invited to look at other stuff as well, but I'm just too busy to kind of even get there.
Yeah.
We've got a really lovely course in mind for an epic swim run. Again, it's like 35, 40 kilometers, so the current climate might put that off for a little while, but I mean, that's proper exposed. It's down around like the Lizard, and that's really exposed. So you'd have to be really lucky to do that. I think you might have to actually just say, it's going to be on one of these weekends, and we could tell you that week that it's going ahead.
I've thought about that idea before, which is
not
probably
sure that would go down very well.
No, I don't think it would. Yeah. I've thought about the option. I know Isles of Scilly used to do a weekend. It might be Saturday, it might be Sunday back in the day, which is for Isles of Scilly, you're probably going to be there anyway. So, but So
no, there's a lot. There is a race format that I really want to do, but it's finding the right location. But I won't tell you because you might do it. But
okay. What was it, John? What was it?
Not on air anyway. Might tell you off air. But no, it's There's. I mean, the other thing is maybe the teams thing because of that is a bit of a kind of a reason not to look into it. But it's always been teams of two or solo. What if we did a bit like the one water race, teams of three on the longer course stuff? Teams of four. We did the Roseland once as a 4, and that was really good fun. Interesting being tethered as a 4 at times. But, why can't you do that? There's no rule why we can't do that. But
not at all. No. The public will decide. I suppose. Yeah.
But they've got to have that. They've got to have that opportunity to try it first.
They have. Yeah.
Because what we're doing on our events now is we got asked last year to actually put the total age of teams so people could look at where they're ranked. So, you and your partner are both 50, your average, your kind of total age is 100. So people can look and go, wow, my team was 120 and I beat all these teams that were less than 100. So, we don't do prizes for them because if we did prizes for age groups in swim run, everybody would get a prize.
Yeah. It's like primary school.
Everybody gets a sticker. Maybe that's what we should do, just a sticker.
Stickers are great. I love stickers. But that is becoming more. People are asking for that, and I think that people they don't want a prize necessarily. They just want a recognition that they're like 64, and like Mike Lyle, for example. He does my eliminated last couple of times. He's 71, and he does it great, and They like the recognition. He wouldn't
Yeah,
say that, but I know he does.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, yeah. So that's cool. Cool, John. Well, we've whittled on. I've kept you for long enough there. I'll hopefully see you in May,
yeah.
and
Hopefully,
see what happens. And good
brilliant.
luck over the
Thanks for having
winter.
me.
Any more training camps coming up, by the way?
May. May
May.
is the
Okay.
next one. May is the next one. Yeah, so we do them twice a year, May and September. There is talk about doing more, but yeah, we'll see how that goes because it's a tough week
Okay.
for me and because you're hosting as well, so it's
Yeah.
hard work. But I touch, can't believe that I get to go to Croatia twice a year and swim and run around those beautiful trails. It's just the most stunning place. I definitely recommend anybody to go to Croatia. Because when
Yeah.
I'm there, I'm looking at the coastline and going, could you do a race here? Because
Yeah.
Havar was there, but
Yeah.
they stopped that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, the only thing I find in Croatia is that the water is very salty. After about 45 minutes, an hour in the water, I definitely need a drink. So
Yeah.
that's something you'd have to bear in mind. But yeah, no, very lucky, very lucky. But if anybody wants to find out any more information, drop us a message or have a look at our website.
Good man. Mad Hatter Sports Events. Well, just Google it. Mad Hatter Sports. You
Yeah,
don't need
yeah,
to.
yeah.
I'm not reading out the URL.
Let's not mention Google though, hey?
Oh no! Oh yeah, that's another story.
Different story. Different
We'll
story.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks,
Brilliant.
John. Thanks for
Thanks,
coming
Mike.
on, man. Bye.
Cheers.